Alrighty guys, we're back for Mono Red Aggro, and this is an Outlaws of Thunder Junction standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. Check out these new cards. Got Slickshot Show-Off in here, all four of them. It's a 2 mana, 1/2, flying, haste, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Okay, all that seems fine and dandy to me, but it also has plot for 1 and a red. You may pay that cost and exile this card. Cast it as a sorcery on a later turn without paying its mana cost, plot only as a sorcery. That's a pretty neat ability, huh? And I think this is going to be a very powerful, very explosive card, especially when paired with some of the other plot cards too, like Demonic Ruckus here. It's a 2 mana aura. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has menace and trample. Okay. When Demonic Ruckus is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you draw a card. Okay. And then it also has plot for just 1 red mana. And I think we're going to be plotting this very often, right? Because just 1 mana on a turn prior to cast it free later on just seems really powerful, especially when you pair it with other cards that have prowess and stuff too, like Swiftspear, of course, making the cut as a 4 of, as well as an onslaught of other generic mono red things, like 4 Kumano faces Kakkazan, 4 Monstrous Rage, of course. We got 4 Phoenix Chicken here too. Like, pairing all these extra evasive creatures in the air with that Slickshot Show-Off is going to be great, you know what I mean? Got Play with Fire, of course, as a 4 of. We got all 4 Lightning Strikes as a 4 of too. And another new card, Scorching Shot, is a 2 mana double red sorcery speed, unfortunately, and it deals 5 damage to target creature. I had to make the decision, do we want to play with this new card, or do we just want to go for the classic Witchstalker Frenzy? And honestly, in this deck, we don't have too many creatures overall. We have 15 creatures. Of course, Kumano flips into 1 eventually. I had to make the decision, how often is that Witchstalker Frenzy going to get down to 2 mana and be able to use that at instant speed, or just play with the new card? And of course, I chose the new card. We'll see how it ends up doing today. On the top end of this build, we have 3 Goddrics. Nice. We have a couple Chandras too, because I think that +1 add a red mana is going to be absolutely terrific with all these plotting cards. You know what I mean? We could go like turn 3 Chandra, go that +1, and then immediately plot the Demonic Ruckus, for example. That just kind of seems neat to me. Okay, the mana base, we don't have a Mishra's Foundry this time around, and that is totally the Scorching Shot's fault, but also I just think that the Mishra's Foundry is going to hold us up, especially with all those 1 mana cards too that we got in here. Other honorable mentions, of course, that Witchstalker Frenzy, Fugitive Codebreaker almost made the cut. Antagonize sounds like it would be ridiculous with that Slickshot Show-Off, especially if on the same turn you go like Antagonize and Monstrous Rage, and yeah, all that could happen on turn 3, huh? So that could be pretty wild. Great Train Heist was a new one that didn't make the cut this time around, but maybe it should have. And then Ancestral Anger also seems like it would be a great card for this style of build. Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, so look forward to that. Maybe we'll change up the deck list a little bit there before I go ahead and post it on Aether Hub. Either way, let's take it into some ranked and see how we do. Okay, we'll see if we can get right into that first game. It is the first day of the release, so I actually don't know. Okay, there we go. I was going to say, I don't even know if the servers are operating properly right now, so good news. They seem to be working. Oh my goodness. Well, opponent goes first. I'm going to keep this. Triple Phoenix Chick. You know, Phoenix Chick never lets us down, so... opponent has one too. Phoenix Chick only lets us down when the opponent is playing Phoenix Chick? Maybe. Yeah, we'll start with Swiftspear here because we have a pretty good turn 2 with that Monstrous Rage if they don't remove it. Yeah, unfortunately they went first though. Slickshot Show-Off. Oh, buddy, it's a true mirror match, and we drew our 4th Phoenix Chick. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're going to go for maximum damage. We're going to make sure we get rid of that Slickshot Show-Off too. I guess maximum damage would have been that Monstrous Rage, but that's fine. I guess we'll save the Monstrous Rage for something else. Yeah, hopefully that slows them down enough, you know? Okay, do they have their own Monstrous Rage? They sure do. That's a chunk of extra damage right there. Down to 10. I'd like to see my new card. Oh, here we go. Demonic Ruckus. Up against this, though. Doesn't seem great. We could plot it for the turn. We could double down on more Phoenix Chick. The quadruple Phoenix Chick is pretty bad, I would say. Right? We could go Monstrous Rage. We might die next turn, unfortunately. We probably do die, actually. Okay. Well, I guess, again, I'll say it again, right? We'll maximize the amount of damage going through. Get them down to 10. And since Phoenix Chick doesn't block, we'll just plot that. We'll get that going. That's pretty cool. Fugitive Codebreaker. I think we're dead. I think we're super dead. Speaking of, like, you know, that antagonize that made... Ooh, Blazing Crescendo. Very nice opponent. Oh, Blazing Crescendo should have made the honorable mentions, because that lets you see the top two. Like, instead of, like, antagonize is cool because it's like +4, +3, but Blazing Crescendo lets you see that top card of your library too. So neat. I mean, hey, if the opponent was pretty much playing the mirror, I guess we kind of showcased what the deck's trying to do. That Slickshot Show-Off looks really, really good. Oh yeah, that Blazing Crescendo totally should have been in that honorable mentions for sure. That's potentially something we want to think about right now, right? What would we want to trade out for that, though? We go like the Blazing Crescendo route. We might want to go more of the Prowess route too, which is one of the reasons why that Fugitive Codebreaker was chilling in the honorable mentions. Okay, I guess these first couple hands haven't been terrific, huh? With 4 mana, is this actually a mulligan? The opponent goes first here too. All right, we'll drop it and see if we can see, like this isn't bad. But if we see like a mountain off the top for the next couple turns, like this could be horrible. Yeah. We should mulligan. Oh, new cards. All right. Keep 6. And I brought up like the Chandra, like how I wanted the Chandra to work well with the whole plot effect and everything. But call me crazy, I'm gonna ditch the Goddric. Just because I want to see, well, I want to see Chandra do a thing today. Oh, Restless Reef, huh? Okay. I wonder if it's worthwhile plotting the Show-Off next turn rather than playing it. Honestly, probably. That way we can kind of play around a removal spell from the opponent. Swiftspear probably eats the removal then. But then at that point, we can, on turn 3, use that plot ability on the Show-Off and then play Chandra on the same turn. Maybe we see one of our 1-mana cards off the top too. Yeah, that could be a really good line of play. There's the opponent. Dark Slick Shores, and Swiftspear's out of here with a cut down. All right. Oh, Phoenix Chick. Okay, so we're going to take the turn just to set up the plot. Is that a little bit slow for mono red aggro? Maybe. I honestly don't know. Yeah, I don't know, like, how explosive we want to try to build the deck at that point. Well, another reason that the Ancestral Anger was in that honorable mentions too, right? The honorable mentions alone could have built an entire deck around this exact same concept. You know what I mean? Hey, mana. Yeah, something tells me we cast that Slickshot for free and it immediately gets Gopher the Throated, but I mean, we got to try it, right? So we get this down, then Chandra. And then Chandra goes plus and gets the Phoenix Chick down. And if that was like, well, Chandra might not land. It could be like a make disappear. Cut down. Ew. We still have a really good turn here, luckily.
I won't stop fighting till the people.
Or a really decent turn, at least.
You're looking a little
And with the opponent playing Dimir, it's totally a thing that would run Shieldred, too. So maybe Scorching Shot takes care of Shieldred. Deep Cavermat takes the Scorching Shot. Okay. Couple uphill battles, but at least Chandra's just chilling on this board. Looks like Chandra's going to take the time to help us out, too. Let's exile that top card. See what we see. We can play anything in the build. Phoenix check. Nice. Okay.
So what?
Yeah, I don't mind that. Keep Crucible as utility, of course. Yeah, if they don't get rid of this Chandra in a couple turns, I mean, they're probably going to start swinging at it with Bat at least. So that'll keep it away from the -7. They're going to gain off the Bat too. But yeah, we're just going to need to see a little bit more. Very Mastermind as well. Okay, yeah, we got some tough Demir to go up against here. I'm full swing at that Chandra for sure, dude. They want to be able to clean it up on their next turn. Goddric. All right. Well, how do I want to do this then? So we could plus on the Chandra. Have 2 open, so Crucible won't be able to come down. It'll cost 3 once Goddric's on the board. It'd be great to get that Goddric in the air. Maybe we just see more off the top before Chandra dies next turn, right? Ooh, Slickshot Show-Off. Oh. Okay. Okay. Right, so Crucible is no longer utility. We'll get that Goddric down. They still have 1 card in hand, too. It could easily be more removal. Look at all these flyers, dude. I wonder if they chump with that Bat. Probably, right? Chump the Goddric while they can before we see, like, a Monstrous Rage or something. That would make sense to me. Chandra taking pressure off of our face here just doesn't really matter when we're sitting at 20, so it does feel bad that Chandra's going to die next turn, but, like, it totally did its job. Did it very nicely, too. Okay, down to 9. They didn't chump. I suppose they decided the lifelink on the Bat was worthwhile keeping for the swings. Oh, they're gonna... Oh. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So they are full swinging here. I mean, up to 11. If we see... Oh. I'm going to wait till the last moment. So they can power up the Reef, unfortunately. If we just swing in the air... Got 4, 8. Reef takes care of Goddric a little bit too well, huh? So, yeah, it's just swinging in the air. The life gain on the Bat has been terrific, huh? Make sure to do Play with Fire to get that extra bonus from the Slickshot. We could... Okay, instead of going face for the Scry... No, the Scry is probably more important, right? Play with Fire. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I guess we still want that, right? Any amount of burn, anything that does more with the Slickshot. 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's only 7 damage. Did I say 8 on accident? Down to 4. Activate the Mastermind. Oh, that's risky, huh? Well, I mean, they're at 4, so they figure if we see like a lightning strike. So, a few things, right? What we could have done with the Play with Fire was actually grab the Scorching Shot and then used the Scorching Shot, and then the Slickshot Show-Off would have gotten... We'll try that next turn, huh? We'll try that next turn. They restock their hand beautifully here. It's got to be some removal at some point, right? Because they only saw 2 cut downs so far. Full swing, huh? Up to 6. Nope. Keeping the Mastermind back as an emergency blocker. At that point... Yeah, Play with Fire the Bat, Scorching Shot. Oh, Scorching Shot the Outlaws for sure. We want to do that all on our turn to make sure that we're getting the most out of the Slick Shots. Ah, but they have that blocker. Crap. Okay, Kumano's not bad. First, we need the Scorching Shot to take out that lifelink flyer, right? This is tough. We kind of saw like a really rough lineup, and maybe I should have just... it really depends though, because the scry kind of came in handy, even though we ended up keeping what was on top. Like, it's nice to know what we're seeing. Scorching Shot. Yeah, with all this extra bonus going on the Slickshot Show-Off, it's too bad we can't get that Mastermind through. Well, they could have a Make Disappear. They do have a Make Disappear. Uh-oh, guys. Casualty. We can't pay that. Oh, no. Okay. Well, decline. Oh, no, guys. What an uphill battle this has been. If we swing here, they trade here. Easy peasy. The Akklezotes blocks there really well, or the Phoenix Chick as well. Unfortunately, the only swing we have is the Slickshot, and at least it's a trade. Because what are we going to do? Wait on the Slickshot? I don't think that's what we want. This is a great example of a game where that trample from our aura would have really come in handy. Well, I guess, yeah, I guess we just accept that trade. Because if we don't accept the trade now, there's no guarantees that we see like a Monstrous Rage or anything off the top. And even then, the trample at that point, they're going to be gaining enough here from the Akklezotes. Still got great blockers on the ground. Argument could be made to keep the Kumano in hand, just in case we see another permanent off the top to send the Goddric in the air. But even then, a Lightning Strike. Yeah, everything just kind of coming out of our deck in a strange order. No swing on the Akklezote was good news, but what do we do? They easily flip this Akklezote's back. If they go back up to 9, they'll go down. Okay. We swing with Phoenix Chick, right? They block. They go up to 9, back down to 8. Lightning Strike takes care of Akklezotes. They pay the 3 next turn, easy peasy. Comes out tapped, though. And that might be our chance while the Akklezotes is tapped. I don't know what we would end up seeing off the top, but I suppose... I suppose that's the chance, huh? So we swing, keep Goddric back. They might even take the 2 here, honestly. They might. Alright, so the Akklezotes will come back tapped. We have to hope that the opponent doesn't end up drawing anything, too. Up to 8. Nano flips next turn, so permanent off the top could get Goddric into the air. Go ahead, generate that Mirex token. Alright, mana. Alright. So we gotta get this Goddric in the air, period, right? Great blocker on the ground for the Kumano. Oh, no blocker on the ground for the Kumano. Oh, yes, they do. Okay, well, no blocks. Also, Restless Reef, too. I don't want to forget about that. Oh, Chandra. Right. So get Goddric in the air. 1, 2, 3. That's 8, right? Guys, I think we got there. This is why we don't concede sometimes, man. There's always that sliver of hope. Getting that Akklezotes tapped was so good for us.
A blazing inferno.
Then we activate the Goddric ability.
Toast. I'd
Then we
love
activate the Goddric ability. And we activate the Goddric ability. Oh, actually, we had extra damage there. You don't swing on the ground. Even though, technically, they could gain that 1 from the Vampire, and we'd still have the 8 going through. GG opponent. Wow. Chandra was huge there. Chandra the whole game. We saw both of our Chandras, right? That was so good. So what else could have gotten Goddric into the air and won us the game? Since Kumano was flipping, I guess like Monstrous Rage would have done it too, right? Like it didn't have to be as fancy as Chandra, but it was still really exciting to see that Chandra do a thing, you know what I mean? So yeah, Monstrous Rage technically would have been the exact same concept. So I guess a lot of stuff off the top at that point, right? Anything that was an actual permanent to play that wasn't too expensive, and then we just pay the excess mana to boost the Goddric. But yeah, tapping that Acklazos was so good. All right, opponent, what you bringing to the table, buddy? Yeah, I'm gonna be thinking about that match. That was like a really tough uphill battle. I guess overall the opponent didn't see too much spot removal. It does kind of suck that we didn't get to see the Slickshot do too much overall. Opponent goes first, unfortunately, but this is a pretty good generic red deck wins hand. Of course, seeing some of the new cards would be great, but there isn't too many packed in, actually. There's 10 new cards total in this build. We'll go ahead and pause until the opponent shows up, because there might be some people freezing on day one here. Okay, the opponent has arrived. We're going to keep this because I think it's good. Oh, that's our horsey. Our horsey grazes in the middle of the board. I'm just now noticing that. Look at how adorable that is. I want to watch him walk over. Oh, there he goes, a little gallop. Oh, mono red, huh? Okay. Well, at some point we got to go first today, right? So, honestly, with this hand, we might still have a really good chance. As long as they don't have a really good chance, you know what I mean? Looks like they had to mulligan too. Only 6 cards total there. Opponent, are you lagging, buddy? Are you lagging? Might be. Oh, there's the swing. Now, do we take the turn for Kumano? We'll have the turn 3 Goddric play then. Yeah, we take the turn for Kumano since Goddric's in hand, I would say. Especially with the opponent's turn 1 Swiftspear, it's not like our Swiftspear is going to keep up just yet. We have a chance to see like a 1-drop off the top too, right? So like, we see a play with fire, we drop the mountain, we get a chunky Swiftspear, then the play with fire on their Swiftspear would be huge for us. Okay, Monstrous Rage. Play with fire. And a Monstrous Rage? Maybe. No, okay. They're just going to keep the mountain open then. Ooh, Scorching Shot. Okay. Well, that'll come in handy probably. Even though it's not a 1-mana card, it's still a pretty good turn. Very similar turn, actually, but we are taking potentially a lot of damage next turn once their 3rd mana comes down, so hopefully they're missing a little bit. And we're going to need a little bit of luck on our side going second here. Okay, there's their Kumano. Okay. Lightning Strike. Lightning Strike on our Swiftspear would be pretty good. Is a Lightning Strike. So 3 to face down to 11. Goddric comes in. Swinging for 6 next turn. We also get them down to 11. Oh, Demonic Ruckus. Yeah. All right. But definitely Goddric for the turn, and hopefully we don't die next turn, because I suppose that's a possibility, right? With only 1 card in hand, I think we're okay. Well, 2 cards in hand, because they're drawing, but I think we're alive, right? Totally, totally. I don't know exactly what 2 cards could do. It'd be like Swiftspear number 2, get the counter, and then the last card in hand, Monstrous Rage. That isn't 11 damage, though. And the Festivities. I don't like the sound of that. Hold on. Okay. I guess they wanted the boost on the Swiftspear and the extra damage coming through. Okay, interesting. So now we need to figure out how to win this turn. Got 5 on the board. We need to do 6 more damage. Their Kumano flips next turn. We're not getting Goddric into the air, so we don't have that ability. We could always... I am pondering, friend. We don't want to hit the Feldon. I know that much. We likely have to chump the Feldon next turn. But we don't want them to see too much off the top here. Demonic Ruckus. Just like outright casting this is probably okay. On the etching, right? Whatever we plan on blocking with, I suppose. And then we keep the Lightning Strike open for their turn. Yeah, we only have 9 over here is the problem, right? If we keep full blockers back, I mean, we could still end up dying pretty easily. Oh, tough decisions, guys. Okay, yep, I'm keeping all the blockers back and keeping the Lightning Strike open. If we can successfully block everything and then just go Lightning Strike to their face, get them down to 8, then we might still be able to clean up everything with our creatures anyways. Blocking everything, though, yeah, this is going to be tough. So far, something I'm noticing is maybe just more permanence. Oh, great top deck for the opponent there. Reckless Impulse is rough business. They find a land, Monstrous Rage. So whatever they target the Monstrous Rage with, hopefully it's the Swiftspear, so that way we can take out. Like, I really don't want to hit that Feldon, you know what I mean? Crap, they're going to blockers first. Yep. Makes sense. Okay, so we're going to take the Feldon damage. We want you and you, right? So if they go on Feldon, that's 6. So we'll have to poke the Feldon. They get to C3. Swiftspear takes care of Goddric, so it would be like this then, right? That way we draw off the Demonic Ruckus. I don't know why this is a hard one for me to think through. I mean, they might go Monstrous Rage on Swiftspear instead, and then on the stack we go Lightning Strike, which would be the most ideal turn for us, honestly. Just take the 3 from the Feldon. Oh, or the Etching too, huh? That is less ideal, because now Etching still dies. So either way, we want the Monstrous Rage damage not going through. We don't want any extra trample hitting face. In other words, we die. Swiftspear. Oh, Chandra. Okay. How the heck are we going to survive next turn, guys? Since we weren't able to swing successfully. I suppose we still go Swiftspear first, right? And then Chandra. And that's 5 on the board. 6 on the board.
This little candle's gonna set your world on fire.
We take out Swiftspear and we just chump the Feldon. Chumping the Feldon might be necessary. Down to 10.
You're lucky this is a warning shot.
Ah, so close, so close. Alright, Scorching their Swiftspear. Still got 7 on the board, too. Pretty wild stuff, huh? I think no matter what they see off the top, we're really, really close to death. So we're just going to keep Swiftspear back, even though that looks like a risky play. Like, pretty much anything, right? From all of their play with fires, all of their lightning strikes, another hasty creature, anything like that. A Monstrous Rage, too, right? Pretty much anything they see. So it's all risky at that point. Monstrous Rage. Yeah, no, I think that was very, very likely the opponents. That Reckless Impulse was a terrific top deck. The End the Festivities isn't surprising to see when we see so much Boros too. All right. Well, I hope we don't end up seeing more mono red, but at the same time, I kind of want revenge against mono red too, right? Because we're kind of struggling against our fellow red players right now. Of course, I don't think we had the chance to go first yet today. I think that would have been a very different game had we, but at the same time too, I don't know, man, kind of feels like we're drawing things out of order in a lot of these as well. So also the Scorching Shot hasn't been too great so far. Definitely something to talk about in the final thoughts. Should it have still just been Witchstalker Frenzy? Very likely. Ooh, Oh, opponent goes first again, though. But I do like this hand a lot. Yep, we keep this. There's nothing to complain about here. Mono red, what are you doing? All right, it's revenge time, huh? So I'm gonna go. We're probably gonna plot. Like, get some extra in the air. Probably Phoenix check, so that way they just don't go. Because like we know how mono red operates, right? Like they drop their mountain. Then they drop their Swiftspear, then they drop their Play with Fire on our Swiftspear and all that fancy stuff. Dude, look at this. A lot of people trying out the new Slickshot Show-Off today. Very nice. But we're going to get fancy with it. We're going to plot it. Oh, yeah. See how explosive we end up getting. Now, unfortunately, they could keep blockers back or keep... burn spells open to make sure they kill it before it just like explodes all over their face. But yeah, no, in the next turn we have Mountain, Swiftspear, Kumano, Play with Fire. Well, obviously after the Slickshot Show-Off too. Another Slickshot. Dude, are we gonna die? Play with Fire. This is so much damage. That's 6 extra damage from that Play with Fire. Ow, my face. We're down to 6. Well, I don't think we have 18 damage in hand. We could try to take things out instead. Yeah, we probably should. Unfortunately, are we still gonna die? They have etching on the board. Phoenix Chick can't block. Right. Slickshot Show-Off for free. Would have playing the Slickshot Show-Off last turn been any better? No, because they would have just burnt it with the Play with Fire. So that's proof of concept for the plot, right? For the plot actually being okay. If we go Swiftspear, off of the Slickshot, 1 second, opponent. I am pondering. So on the Play with Fire play, it's an extra 3 damage from Swiftspear and Slickshot. 1, 2, 3, 6, 8. Then Kumano comes down, extra 3, 11, 12. It's not enough. Not enough. All right, we take the turn to do some cleanup. And, like, clean up everything because I think these slick shots could easily kill us. And we'll swing for 6. Unfortunately, really good hand. Really nice setup overall, but we are very much in danger. Only 2. Are we okay for the turn? Okay, shock, and opponent. Okay. Okay, really tough stuff. Really showing why going first is so important too, but I'll tell you what, the opponents have really had it today, huh? Even our one victory was incredibly tough, and it was against a mirror of all things. So we are not winning the mirror matches at all right now. Well, now I really hope we don't see more mono red, but again, I guess getting revenge would be nice. Yeah, I think just seeing more variety too. I'm actually very shocked by the amount of mono red players today. Like, don't get me wrong, we see mono red often, but this often? Opponent goes first. Oh no, guys. Okay, we got a couple of our plot creatures. Heck yeah, dude. I like this hand. Turn 1 Demonic Ruckus plot. We're getting ready for that setup, dude. Oh, Boros. Okay. Okay, well. Scoundrel comes down. With the Lightning Strike and the Monstrous Rage, I'm going for a full setup here. Oh, another Monstrous Rage too. All right, we're gonna plot this Slickshot Show-Off too. I'm going for it, man. Going full setup. Okay, 3rd mana comes down. Come on, tap out for me, opponent. Tap out. We have to be aware that they have that treasure over there too, which I suppose they're gonna keep open. Okay. Hopefully that treasure isn't just a simple play with fire. Here goes nothing. Slickshot Show-Off. All right, we're going to start with the Demonic Ruckus, I suppose. Okay, cool stuff. So, next we want to consider saving the Lightning Strike back for now. We go Phoenix Chick, Monstrous Rage on the Show-Off, then Monstrous Rage on the Phoenix Chick, right? And then save the Lightning Strike. Yeah. I think that is easily the maximum amount of damage here. We're going all in, bro. We're going all in. That is 10 on the board, plus another 3, plus another 2. Woo! 15 damage. That was turn 3, right? That was sick, dude. I'm satisfied. You can win now, opponent, if you really want to. War Leader's Call. Okay. 2 mana open. Yeah, I suppose with... Okay. That's really good. Luckily, these don't have haste. And luckily, these have flying, too. That was a really good turn, opponent. Jeez, man. Hey, good game. Very nice. We did a thing, guys. All right. Now, if this was a different version of Boros for real and they just dropped a board wipe, we would have been in trouble, but that's something like the Demonic Ruckus kind of deals with too. So, like Sunfall exiles the creatures, but then Demonic Ruckus hits the grave, so you draw a card, so you kind of restock your hand, maybe see more burn off the top too. Just, that's kind of neat. Definitely something to consider there as well. About 36 minutes in, guys, and I have a lot to say about the build, I feel, so let's go ahead, hop over and talk about it. All right, wait a minute. Packs? New packs. Let's go. We'll crack this at the end here real quick. See what we see. Ooh, mythic, rare wild card. That's what you like to see, honestly. And Dust Bowl, which is the older formats, right? I don't believe we have to worry about collecting those. What's this? A third Scorching Shot. Oh no, Scorching Shot. Well, I have some bad news for you, buddy. The Scorching Shot didn't feel that great, did it? Overall, while the deck really isn't attacking with too many creatures too often, I suppose, kind of, sort of. Well, hold on now, just a minute. I got to argue with myself there a little bit. There were actually a lot of moments where we were still swinging with 3 creatures successfully today, right? Right? I think so. So yeah, Witchstalker Frenzy is still going to be the pick, I think, even for a deck like this that technically doesn't have too many creatures. We still got to consider that the Kumano flips into Etching, of course. You can kind of count it as like 19 creatures, which realistically isn't a lot of creatures at all. But when we are dumping them onto the board quite effectively and everything too, I think Witchstalker Frenzy is still going to be better than the Scorching Shot. But I guess overall, it's going to be your choice. But once you do have the Witchstalker Frenzies in here, then the double red and the Scorching Shot is a little less greedy. Maybe you can go up those couple Mishra Foundries. There's something about this build, though, that told me that the Mishra's Foundries were actually going to hold it up a little bit. And I'm not 100% certain why, as usually I do like a couple of them. Sometimes, like, the 1-drops kind of get stacked on top of each other if you end up having a Mishra's Foundry on the board and you're not able to... You know, on the same turn, you can't go Swiftspear, Monstrous Rage, which is triple red. You know, you might have a Mishra's Foundry on the board. So would that land have actually done anything for us today? No. No, because, like, all of our losses, right? I think literally all of our losses were against mono red. So the mirror match. So Mishra's Foundry doesn't do too much in the mirror match as far as I know. Going first does a lot in mirror matches, but... But that's just, you know, you're flipping the coin. I'm on the fence about Scorching Shot. I don't know about that. And like, I put it over here for a reason. We gotta think about it. It's probably gonna be up to you. I'm not so much on the fence about Slickshot Show-Off and Demonic Ruckus. I think the big issues here is when to decide to plot. And I thought for sure Demonic Ruckus, well, first of all, I think we did end up plotting this every time we saw it today, right? Just 1 red mana. I just feel like plotting this and then having this free on a later turn onto literally any of our creatures is going to be really good. Like, Menace Trample on Goddric just happens to be decent. You know what I mean? Menace Trample on Swiftspear. Oh my goodness, you know? And then in that Dimir match where they had all those bats and all those other flyers, Menace Trample on this Slickshot Show-Off would have been huge. Luckily, we still ended up getting there, but seriously, luckily, you know what I mean? They're really cool new cards. Unfortunately, not too many new cards this time around as far as a new set goes. Every now and then, when a new set does come out and we try a different version of Mono Red Aggro, sometimes we just like completely pack it with new cards. Like half the deck is new, right? Just to kind of test it out. But as I was looking through the set, I didn't see too much that, well, first of all, Mono Red Aggro is kind of sort of solved already. You know, like I think you could still just play the old version and be very satisfied with that. Until we know where the meta actually settles, of course. Okay, give me 1 second here, guys. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so something I want to say about Slickshot Show-Off. Does it belong in Mono Red? It seems pretty powerful, but at the same time, there are those moments, especially after you plotted it, so you already spent mana for it, you kind of already invested in it by like completely taking up your turn 2 or whatever. And there's that moment on that turn 3, for example, like if you're going to play it out for free, like that could be a really explosive turn, but all the opponent needs to do is keep open a burn spell or any removal, right? And there's a lot of spot removal packed in the standard all the time. Does Slickshot Show-Off belong here where that risk is, you know, it's a big risk? Or does it belong in like a Boros shell where we can have some protection? Maybe a Skrelv, for example. Or there's a bunch of other protection spells that obviously work with Slickshot's ability to buff itself with non-creature spells. Then also that brings up the case for like, is it as well, right? They have some protection spells, ways to give hexproof and stuff like that too. Or at that point, if we're talking Boros and is it, maybe Jeskai Prowess. Dude, that's something we got to visit. Definitely let me know in the comments if you're interested in seeing that, and I'll add it as a comment suggestion. Okay, it's a good card. Does it belong in Mono Red? I mean, a lot of the opponents seemed to believe that it belongs in Mono Red. A lot of people were pretty hyped to try out this card, I suppose, huh? I'm actually, yeah, I was pretty surprised to see that much. Usually day 1, too. Like, we see a lot of what standard already was for the last couple months, and then it takes like a couple weeks for everyone to start getting new cards packed into the build. But now Slickshot Show-Off just like showing off today, I suppose, right? Yeah, it was everywhere. Neat. Very neat. I wonder if we'll see Slickshot Show-Off when we're not playing Slickshot Show-Off too. You know what I mean? Maybe the game was giving us some mirror matches just to see the birdie, to see the bird wizard. Any 1-drops that we want to talk about, guys? Would that train have done anything in the honorable mentions that we... the Great Train Heist here. It has that spree ability. Choose one or more additional costs. So it's always going to be 1 red, and then the additional costs are down here. So I don't think we have enough creatures for the first 2, right? Repeating combat phase, well, I guess that does work well with the show-off if the show-off is already huge. But to get the show-off huge, you would have already had to been playing a lot of other things already. And then to get that extra combat phase, it is going to be 4 total mana too. So I guess multiple show-offs on the board. Yeah, that I don't know about that first phase. Second phase, same concept. In this deck in particular, we don't have too many creatures packed in. In the bottom phase, it would be like double red at the very least. Choose target opponent. Whenever a creature you control deals combat. Yeah, I think this would belong in more of a creature style shell. I guess just more permanence in general, right? We're definitely in this build in particular aiming for like that prowess style, especially with like the aura on the Ruckus too. So, any final notes here? Oh, Chandra. Dude, I love Chandra in here. Oh yeah, dude. And I always think Chandra is a little bit underplayed in the generic red deck wins anyways, right? Like at the very least a 1-of. Usually we just see like either, well, 3 to 4 Goddrics no matter what, right? But then we see like Squeeze on the top end too, or just like extra Witchstalker frenzies and stuff as well. Chandra makes a lot of sense in here. Again, kind of going for the whole prowess style of things. And Chandra's just like, Yeah, so much value comes out of Chandra, and sometimes opponents don't value Chandra either, and so they let it live like an extra turn, and I almost said let it live an extra turn on accident, but I guess at that point, yeah, it kind of is on accident, right? Because Chandra just does a lot, and it can help you find extra things on the top, too. Oh, the 21 land felt fine, too. We didn't even flood out today, did we? Everything felt really solid in that area. Kind of drawing things out of order a little bit. But, like, no, I don't think we can complain about our draws too much today. I think everything seemed all right enough. Just going first, some of those would have really helped us out, too. So, guys, definitely let me know in the comments, what would you add? What would you take out? What new cards did I miss for this build? Do you guys think I should have just went all in with the new stuff and tried it all out? Maybe, but I kind of wanted to just see what mono red could look like potentially. You know what I mean? Like, because yeah, there's a lot of other neat new red cards that could have been neat to pack in. Some other cards with plot, like the Coyote here. Is there anything else? There was this one. I don't have any of these yet. But this card's kind of neat. 3 mana, 3/3. When this attacks, you create a 3/1 dinosaur if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. Honestly, in a prowess style build, that could be pretty neat. It could be a cool way to get just extra creatures on the board too. But overall, not having haste or anything, it likely dies to everything. And then it's also in a very competitive slot here too, right? Like, what are we dropping? Goddric? No. But it also is budget as well. It's uncommon. So that could be a neat one. Yeah, I'll look through the other red cards again, and maybe well, I mean, obviously, we're going to be revisiting mono red again, but at some point, we got to revisit underplayed mono red, huh? That's always a fun one to try out. Oh, another one, the Stingerback Terror as well. This also has a pretty cheap plot. Look at this, guys. 4 mana, 7/7 flying trample. Gets -1/-1 for each card in your hand, which honestly, in a build like this, shouldn't be too much. I think it wouldn't be unheard of to just have this as a 4/4 flying trample, right? That's at the very least, that's what you want it to be at for 4 mana anyways. But the plot is only 2 and a red. At that point, too, it doesn't really fit. It doesn't fit any of the themes here. I just wanted to talk about this card. Yeah, like, if you do end up plotting this, you're not, like, popping off with the Slickshot Show-Off or anything. You're not getting the prowess on the Swiftspear, and all of that is really, really important. Okay, guys, enough rambling. There's just some, like, red cards that I wanted to talk about up there. You made it this far into the video for real. Y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you. Make sure you check out that description where we got that Discord link as well as that Patreon link if you're interested in supporting the channel that way. Okay, guys, I will see you in the next video.